are live. Let me just check and see. Make sure we are live on YouTube as well. We are the youth of the nation. All right. Nate, how you doing today, buddy? How you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
No,
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Nope, you didn't miss it. We literally just started. Great timing. Yeah. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Pixel Profiles, the segment on my channel where I sit down with content creators from all over various different platforms, and basically we just chat. I love how there's so many people from different various backgrounds that all come to content creation in their own way. I want to see if there's any sort of common thread. So that's why we sit down with so many people. Today we have NateSherriff, who, while I am very new to his content, I've actually been binging it fairly heavily recently. I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate that.
Very engaging content, really nice person. Currently working on some charity work right now. Nate, do you want to introduce yourself? If you want to give the people a little look into what sort of content you create?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Nate. I've been streaming, making content since 2017. Just casually, I got a full-time gig that I do every day, and a friend of mine told me I should start streaming. I like to entertain. I like to make people laugh and have a good time. So he thought that was something that would work. And then I just kind of stuck and started making some friends online through streaming, and bounced around platforms for a while. The Mixer, the whole fall of Mixer, I was there for that, and Twitch and YouTube was kind of turned into like my main platform, and I've been there ever since. Recently started to multi-stream to Twitch and just kind of dabbling in some other stuff. Mostly live stream content. We play a lot of different games. They're all over the place, really. I do like horror, survival games, like crafting, building, stuff like that. But it's all, we try to keep it lighthearted, try to have a good time. We're no pros. We're not like the Shrouds of the world out there, just doing like professional level gaming or anything like that. We're just out there to have a good time, and we want to make sure everyone's enjoying themselves, and trying to put on a show and make people laugh. But recently, last year, started raising funds for sick kids, as well as another charity. Sick Kids kind of took over, and I've been focusing on raising money for them. And in about a year's time, we've raised just a little bit over a year. We're over $11,000 raised for sick kids.
Wow, that's awesome.
Pretty stoked about that.
Yeah,
very stoked about that. I got 2 kids of my own, so it kind of hits close to home, charities like that. And the guy running it, his name's Jordan. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to do this thing?" And then it kind of stuck, and I like what they're doing, and we've just been running since then, and it's great. It's a great thing that they do. They have a hospital here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and it focuses on children's health and getting them back and getting them healthy. And it's not just a hospital, but they actually put a lot of this money into research, and they collaborate with doctors and hospitals and institutions all over the world. So it's not just one place. It's a collaborative thing, and everyone's working together to make sure that these kids don't have to deal with this. These types of sicknesses and diseases and stuff like that. Like, they should be kids. They should have a chance to be kids, and that's what they're all about. So hit real close to home. Like, I'm actually fighting it back right now. Anyways, how about you, Zach? How are you today?
I'm having a good day. It's an optimistic day. Love. Honestly, some of my favorite days are the days that are leading up to and doing the pixel profiles, because content creation in general it can be very stressful, especially if you're trying to maintain a sort of schedule, or if you are in a certain niche. People started changing the way they pronounce that word, like within the last five years. It was niche. And now people are saying niche, and it bothers me, but that's a conversation for another time.
That's fair.
But with the pixel profiles, I can just sit down and have a conversation with somebody, and it's some of the most, sometimes they're some of the most like relaxing conversations that I've ever had, and other times they're just like strong, sort of poignant conversations that some people don't really think about, and that excites me, and that's the whole reason I really started doing this. And like, you know, excuse me, I literally just finished dinner, so it's
all good.
But real quick, I forgot to say this at the very beginning, and I usually do, so I apologize to people in chat that may be thinking, oh, they're ignoring us. With the Pixel Profile segments, typically it's a back and forth conversation between myself and the guest. I did not mute the alerts. Thank you, Rim, for pointing that out. So, but I'm going to leave the alerts on. But if we don't acknowledge them, keep in mind, I will be acknowledging all alerts and notifications towards the end of the stream. So just want to do a quick thank you to people that are following, and any sort of support that does come in. Genuinely, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And if you do want to have a question, or if you have a question for Nate or myself, over on the Twitch channel, I do have a single point channel point redemption for people to redeem and have a question to ask towards the end of the interview. If you would like an immediate question answered, you can do a donation. If you want to do a donation for an immediate question, either exclamation mark donate or tip on either YouTube or Twitch, and then we'll answer that question right then and there. But if you just have a general question, the Twitch channel points are where to send those in. So, yeah. Nate, I've been kind of, this is a question that I've been wanting to ask, and I thought about saving it towards the end. But,
okay.
We mentioned earlier that you do sort of product reviews. Yes. And I've had this question I've been wanting to ask. Is there any product that you've reviewed that has just been like, I didn't expect this to work so well, or anything that surprised you when you're doing the review?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple. One of them I haven't done a review for is actually what I'm wearing right now. I'm actually putting it through the ringer. This is I'm not going to promote it or anything like that. It's a brand called eMeat. And I've never had a headphone like this before, and putting it on and just like how comfortable it was and all that stuff. I was not expecting it. Like, it just kind of threw me as to how loud it was and comfortable and like all that stuff. So I'm excited to actually do a full review on this thing. But like, you can plug it into your computer and it's Bluetooth, so it has like a little dongle, so you can flip flop. So if I get a call, I can, take the call. Really good for office work or anyone that's, working there, or I work outside. I can listen to tunes while I'm working and all this stuff. So it's pretty neat. But one thing that I just recently did was a microphone, and it's way cheaper in the States because, surprise, surprise, everything is there versus Canada. It's like a $50 microphone, and this thing sounds almost as good just out of the box as my Logitech Sona, which is like a $400 microphone.
Yeah, is it the one you just recently video that just came out?
Yeah, that one there. So that one just completely blew me away. Like, another creator, he did a review on it, and I just happened to see it, and I'm like, oh, well, that's neat because I have it coming to me. Can't wait to see, if I have the same impression. And sure enough, like, this thing it's awesome. It's nice and easy to use, like, and right out of the box, you don't have to be an audio wizard to figure it out. Like, it's almost plug and play. It's impressive.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. I had a Razer Mini that I was using for a while, and the high ends were a little too pronounced in my opinion. But the plug and play, like, when it just works, it's just
exactly
so good. Now, follow-up question. Is there one that just disappointed you?
Um, trying to think. I actually got some things here. Like straight up disappoint, no. Even before I got into like the tech reviews, I used to review products for one of our major retailers here in Canada. It's called Canadian Tire.
I wonder
And
what
it's
they sell.
basically kind of like a Target, is the best way to do it. But they had this thing. It was a reusable tape, and basically all it was the cling wrap window film, like window tint that you can put
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
car
yeah.
or a window or anything like that. Oh, I think I lost your audio. I don't know if that's
Can
me
you
or
hear me?
you. One
Hello.
second.
Oh,
Oh, there you go. I got you
hey,
now.
there we go. Nice.
Um.
Also,
So, anyways,
I'm noticing there's a
yeah.
delay in my microphone, and it's bugging the crap out of me. Or delay in my webcam. Anyway, continue. I
Oh
apologize.
no, that's okay.
I'll figure that
If you
out
got to
later.
do any, yeah, if you got to do anything, you let me know. Yeah, this window film is like, oh, reusable tape, this and that, and is just basically window film that you'd use to tint your car. That they cut it into like a roll of tape, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's like just cheaping out.
It could. Well, you got to think about it. If they're having their because vehicle windows are kind of standardized in regard to like certain sizes in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So like I guess it makes sense that like if you're cutting a window tint roll to fit, you know, a standardized sort of size, there's gonna be some cutoff. So it may be just like
Leftover.
yeah, just like it would be in the recycle bin or the trash or something like that, and they're just like, you know what, we could make a little bit more money.
Yeah, let's market it.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
hey, it
good
works
for them, not so much for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, true. Yeah, very true. So,
Yeah.
this is something I've asked all of my guests, and I love how slightly different. Sometimes it's all the same, but I love how slightly different the question or the answer can be. What was your initial sort of foray into content creation like? Was it sort of like an all-in sort of thing, or was it just like something you, because I know you mentioned your brother kind of said like, hey, you should do this. So what
friend.
was your
my friend, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, your friend mentioned you should do this, but like, what was your like initial foray into content creation like?
It was very passive. I just wasn't sure what to expect. I myself, I'm like, I don't like watching other people play video games. I want to play video games. Why am I gonna go watch someone else when I could just play it myself? And I'm like, no one's gonna watch me. He's like, no, yeah, they will. And he's a good friend of mine. We've known each other for years. We worked together for years. And he actually was doing pretty good on YouTube. So he kind of gave me a jump start. Like, I'll be all honest. Like, it's really hard, getting viewers when you first start out and you got 0, you got 1, in chat, right? And you can stay there for a long time until you
Right.
start getting discovered. And he kind of took a little bit of that away. Like, it wasn't huge, but at least I didn't really start at 0, if
Right.
that makes sense. And I just kind of went casually. I was still working full time, and I just tried to find some nights that I could go live, and it was just playing whatever game interested me at the time. It was very, very casual. So actually, it's funny. Before I just ended up changing my handle to my actual name, I used to go by a handle called Casual Kazi. And the Kazi part was shortened from Kamikaze, which I took from when I used to play these old Day of Defeat games, which is like a mod for Half-Life. It was a World War II mod. And I would take this grenade and run into a crowd of people and just let it go. And I would blow up and I'd get like 4 or 5 kills. So that's where the name came from, like the Kamikaze, but it was too long, shorten it.
Right.
So I was Casual Kazi for a while. And then I'm just like, this is stupid. I hate this name. But it was just, I didn't even know what to pick.
Yeah.
So eventually I'm just like, screw it. Then I'm just going to go with my name. And I've just been Nate ever since.
Yeah.
And yeah, like now it's a lot of multiplayer games. It's my way to hang out with my buds. And, that almost all of them I've met through gaming, through streaming, and
Yeah.
now we have a good group. We're really tight, and we talk every day, and we game as much as we can, and just we find a game that we are interested in. We're like, hey, you guys want to play it? And then we all kind of say yay or nay, and all right, let's do it. When do you want to play? Monday. Okay, let's do it. And it's just that.
Nice.
It's just gaming with buds and hanging out.
Yeah. Do you think you would enjoy streaming as much if you were just doing it by yourself?
No, I probably wouldn't do it. It's I don't play a lot of single player games. I never really have. Like I did when I was younger, but it was mostly always a social thing for me. Any game I would play, it was online or with a friend if they're over at the house doing couch co-op or something like that. It was always with a buddy. I did play single player games and story games and stuff like that, but they just don't have the same appeal to me. Like they don't pull me in as much as being able to experience that same story with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone to talk and hang out with while you're doing the missions or the quests or all the monotonous stuff. If you're playing a survival crafter game or something like that, like it's nice to have someone there keeping you company outside of chat. Like chat's great. They keep you chatting and talking, and they keep you company for when you are alone, gaming alone. But yeah, multiplayer is that's my jam. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, I'm kind of sort of roughly in the same boat. I find it difficult to create the content that I want per se. Like it's hard. It's kind of hard to describe. Because I find it difficult to create the content I want if I'm kind of thinking about what the other people that I'm playing with also would want to do. So
right.
I don't exactly know how to phrase it the right way. But I feel like I've kind of forced myself into the solo streamer mode, and it's not exactly something that I wanted to do, because I love playing games with people. I love chatting with people while we're playing a game together, even if we're not playing the same game. I love talking to people while we're playing. So I'm kind of moving in that direction. We've got a community Minecraft server being started up. We got new fan-made Pokemon MMO that we're starting up. So it's a bunch of kind of taking what I'm already doing and kind of tweaking it to where I can incorporate more people into it, and kind of easing my way into being that like community gamer sort of thing. But it's whenever I grew up playing games, because I grew up playing games with my brother. Me and my brother would binge Halo. We'd play Halo literally every single day. And it was like probably some of my favorite times growing up is playing games with him. And when I started, when I went off to college and all that stuff, we kind of grew apart and didn't game as much with each other. And like mentally, it's been hard for me to bridge that gap. Like I'm 34 and I still have a hard time reaching out to people to play video games with them, because like, oh, are you sure you want to, do you want to play video games? It's like, it's a terrible mental frame rate, a mental frame rate. Apparently I'm buffering.
We'll take it.
Yeah, but so it's something I'm working on, something we're moving forward with. And I hope that it kind of reignites that sort of passion for gaming and streaming that I've had for so long, because it's not gone, but it's definitely kind of turned down a little bit. Feels like more of a job than something to do for fun.
That's a good sign to start changing it up a little bit, right? Make it fun again.
Exactly. Have you kind of run into that sort of wall before with your content?
Yeah, usually it's short-lived, because it mostly comes down to what game are we going to play? We don't have any games that we want to play right now, or something like that. Usually it's pretty simple to get past once a new game releases. So I don't really get stuck in that rut for too long. Maybe a month or so, and we're just kind of playing the same game, and we're like, there's no real good games. And then we start revisiting games, we played in the past, but we were bored of them to begin with, so that's short-lived. And then, bam, new game drops. We're like, awesome, now we got a game. We play it, every Monday or every Tuesday or whatever day.
Yeah.
And, we'll play that for a few weeks. And lately, we've been pretty lucky. There's been, quite a few games coming out. So I've been able to take advantage of that and kind of mix things up a little bit. But the other side of it now is I'm not actually streaming as much as I was because I recently got into 3D printing, and I wasn't getting any time on learning how to do the 3D modeling. So I had to drop a night of streaming. So I went from 3 nights down to 2, and then, the odd weekend stream when I can squeeze them in. Because obviously, I barely do any of the chores during the week, so they all have to get done on Saturday and Sunday. It's great.
Yeah,
but yeah, it actually helps with the whole rut thing, because it's like, oh, well, now I'm not gaming as much anyway, so I'm not getting stuck.
Yep. It's like, for me, it's the structure of it. Like, because like, this is for this, this is for this, this is for this, and for some reason, structure keeps me interested in things. And usually it's the other way around for people. But for me, if I know this is coming, then mentally the switch can flip in my head, and that helps. But you mentioned the 3D printing. So I was recently watching your the stream. I popped in and said hi when you were doing your 3D printing.
Just like the chill one there we were doing.
Yeah.
Just modeling and hanging. Yeah.
Like the keychain, or was it a keychain or a pendant sort of thing you were working on?
Yep.
So is that what were you doing that for? Because I was lurking for a good portion of the stream. I didn't actually catch what you were doing that for.
Oh, yeah. So that is for I've actually made a couple different iterations. Like here's one of them here.
Yeah.
This is actually for Sick Kids. So the creator side of Sick Kids is create for the number 4 Sick Kids. And it's something they started up over the last couple of years. And I was modeling these up because I was talking to the organizer there, and I said, hey, I have a 3D printer now. I want to give something to the creators that are also helping out Sick Kids, like just free. I want to do something more than just fundraise. I want to actually kind of give back to the team, if you will. And he's like, okay. He's like, what are you thinking? I'm like, I don't know, like keychains or something like that. So then we started talking about having me model up some things. So just kind of working through prototyping, seeing like what something might be fun to have, just like a little memento of the 2024 fundraising year, or that person is a Create for Sick Kids fundraiser, something they can have with them, and spark conversation when they're out in public. Oh, what's that? Just like little things like that might bring more attention to the Sick Kids Foundation, while also giving the creators something to have just for being awesome, and taking time out of their regular streaming and stuff like that to focus on Sick Kids. And so we have that that I'm working on, and trying to kind of come up with some ideas. I think I kind of narrowed it down. I actually have it right here. I think we're gonna go with like this kind of style, if I can get it out of my pocket, because I already have one on here. It's just like a long, skinny one, right? It's nice and simple.
Yeah, really cool. I like that.
We're gonna change the color, but just because this is what was in the printer, so I just went with gray and white. But their colors like blue and white. So we'll do a blue and white one, or a black background. Like, we'll just play with colors and see what they decide what Sick Kids wants, and they'll give me the okay, and they'll be like, yeah, give us however many of these, and I'll just print them. And it's just something to give back to the team, right? So
make people feel appreciated.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just like little things, like, hey, thanks for raising money. Here's the thing. And then the other part was actually, I don't know if you know much of Tiltify or raising money with Tiltify, but as you raise more money, you get like these pins. You get like a banner, and then they have different milestones, but their milestones are pretty high. And not everyone can always achieve those. So I wanted to 3D print some more achievable milestones for some people that maybe can't fundraise as much or don't
Mhm.
have as big a following, or people with as deep pockets as some other people might have, and just kind of do something similar, like have a little board and have pins for first $100 raised or first 500, and just like little achievements like stuff like that. And it's also helping me learn how to model more, so it's kind
Yeah.
of like a win-win. I'm learning and doing all this stuff for the creators as well, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's awesome. That really is. I love that. I love that you're doing that. I love what the company stands for. That's fantastic. Speaking of Tiltify, Coffee Lion
Mm.
in the YouTube chat and myself actually teamed up to raise money for cystic fibrosis through Tiltify. So
Awesome.
yeah, very familiar with Tiltify. I've used them quite a few times. Toys for Tots, charity or cystic fibrosis, Animal Welfare Institute. Basically, anything that any sort of cause that you want to raise money for, Tiltify's probably got it. It's really, really handy tool, and anybody that wants to do charity events, it's very seamless to set up. I definitely recommend checking out Tiltify if you have not already, but you would like to do a charity event of your own. I apologize. My brain is it's a bit scattered today, but
All good.
so with some streamers, I know quite a few of them that they have like a certain group of people in their life, whether that be their immediate family or certain naysayers, things like that. They have people in their life that are like, why are you wasting your time doing this, sort of stuff like that. Is there anybody, if you don't want to answer that particular or this particular question, I have a follow-up. Is there anybody in your life that you've experienced that have been like has done that for you, try to disparage what you've been doing with content creation?
Yeah, my ex.
Well,
She thought
yeah.
it was stupid. Yeah, yeah. She thought it was stupid and dumb and all that stuff. And the only thing that she saw there was like, well, can you make money? I'm like, well, you can, yeah, sure, but like, it's not a thing that everyone can do. It's not something that's achievable for everyone. Not everyone will break out like that. Not everyone will have that that right content that just clicks, and they might be missing like certain things to get noticed or whatever the case is. But yeah, she was just about, if you're not making money, why are you doing it? And I said, well, because it's my hobby. This is my hobby that I like to do. I enjoy it. It's my hangout time. I get to spend time
Right.
with my friends. I don't go out and go to the bars and do this and spend that. I
Yeah.
don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't spend any of this money on all these other bad hobbies. This is it. And yeah, she would come down on it because she thought gaming's stupid. She thought it was dumb. It was a waste of time. And then I would just point at the reality TV shows that are clearly scripted, and I'd be like,
Yep. Here's a question. Would you feel the same if I were sitting around watching football?
yeah. And that's the thing. And she would be no. Like hockey here is a big thing, right? And
Yep.
you could sit down and watch hockey for hours, just sitting there eating food. It's like, yeah, but like now you're not even moving. At least
Yeah.
at least I got these going. I got my hand-eye
Like grip
coordination
strength
going.
is
I'm
amazing.
yeah. Right? You're using your brain, solving puzzles, and whatever type of gaming you might be doing. And
Yep.
there's a lot of more going on when you game than there is just sitting in front of a TV and just watching a show or a movie.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in level of engagement for your body and your mind, right? So
Exactly. And
I just brushed it off.
and that
It's no
3D
big deal.
the 3D printing, that software, that's a transferable skill. CAD software
Yeah.
is super transferable, highly prized. So like yeah, I've never understood that sort of mentality of, well, you're just wasting time doing X. It's like, well, I could be wasting time doing X, or like you said, I could be going to a bar and getting drunk and letting drunk women hit on me.
Yep. That's
Would
true.
you
There's a lot of
prefer
bad
I
things I
be
could do, right?
out there or with you? I am still with you. Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've had basically the exact same conversation with people.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's flip reverse it. Let's flip reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's been your biggest cheerleader when it comes to content creation?
The longest would have to be my buddy, the one that got me into it. Um,
I would hope so.
because
Yeah.
he's the one, like, we talk all the time. Um, and he's just like, oh yeah, keep it going. Oh, hey, try this, try that, whatever. But over the years, like, I got some of my best friends, one's in chat now. Hey, Ralph. And very supportive, very helpful, especially since I started getting into doing the review videos,
hmm
trying to self produce and figure out all that stuff. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not really creative in that regard. Like, trying to think of, like, how I'm going to go through a script and how I'm going to show off a product and talk about the product and do it in a way where it might actually keep people's attention. Like, this is all new for me. When I did it for Canadian Tire, they produced the whole show and I just talked about my experience. It's just like, okay, and they would ask me questions and I would answer the questions and I would get into it. But now it's like I have to ask my own questions that viewers might want and then answer those questions and
Yeah.
keep people engaged and do the editing and yada yada yada, right? So having people like like Ral and my other buddies and my wife, my wife now,
Let's
she's
go.
incredible. Like, she's really helpful and supportive and all that stuff. And met her through streaming, and
Awesome.
yeah, just having my core group of people that we talk to every day. And I met like all of them through streaming almost, and they're there. Like, what do you need? You want a game? You want to help? You want this? Stuff like that. So it's
Nice.
nice to have people
Yeah.
like that around. I've been very, very lucky.
We love a supportive spouse. We love a supportive
Yes, we
spouse,
do.
everybody.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's great.
Wouldn't be
I love her.
wouldn't be the wife if she didn't support you though, right? So like,
That's it. Yeah.
hey,
After the X,
exactly.
I was very specific on what I wanted, and I had rules.
Yes.
I had things I was looking for. You got to hit these marks, or it's not going to work.
Exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, it's I wow. Everything left right there. Head empty, cricket chirp.
There you go.
So I am so sorry. I'm usually not
It's okay.
this scattered.
It's that food. That food
is.
it's still cooking. You need to get it to your brain.
It's putting me into coma mode. It's like food coma is coming in hard.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna let the community do my job for me. So
That's easy. That's what I do.
Yes, Keenly, I do remember you. Thank you for the question. All right, I have a question here from Ralster, your buddy. Have you had to deal with any negativity from online, and how do you deal with it?
Me? No, everyone loves me. There's no negativity here. Yeah, quite a bit.
All right.
Actually, over the years. So, tons of it. Trying to think. You get a lot of people that are just angry at the world for being angry, and they're just not happy people.
Mhm.
You get the type of people, like, I've been doing it for what, 7 years now. I've been online. So you start to learn who's a child the way that they type. You can tell that they're just a kid. 'Cause
Yes.
I know this because I have kids and I see how they type and how they act when they're gaming. And it's very similar to some of the trolls that'll come into your chat and try to rile you up. And I just throw it back on them and start asking them questions, or I just shut it down and be like, hey, that's not what we're about. You want to come in, you want to have a good time, you want to hang, let's do it. If you don't want to do that, then you're gonna have to leave, or we'll just ban you. And I will ban almost on site if someone is being negative and it's not just like a little poke to see, like, hey, prod the streamer and see if we can get a rise out of them. Like, if they're
Yeah.
actually trying to be nasty, I'll just be like, yeah, just ban them. I don't spend any time with it. I don't care. Like, I remove it. And I think because we're so quick to remove that sort of thing from our chat, we have a really good community. We have a very inclusive group, and people from all walks of life feel comfortable there. And I make sure I let them know, if you don't, let me know, shoot me a DM, tell me, let me know that, something happened or whatever, and we'll take care of it. And,
Exactly.
I've been very quick to jump on that sort of thing and make sure that people are happy. I want to entertain. I want people to be happy. I don't want people to have to deal with trolls or anything like that. But for me specifically, I don't know if it was how I was raised or whatever, but just things don't really get to me too much. I don't stress too much.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it will just roll off and I'll just keep going. Very easygoing guy. And yeah, it's just, I let them know the rules. If they don't want to play by them, I just ban them. It's so easy online just to ban them. They come back, they ban them. And it's just, it can be a game. But again, I got good buds, I got good mods, got a couple of them in there in the chat now. Hey guys. And they're quick to jump in and get rid of the bots or the trolls or anything like that. So that's always nice.
And they have been very welcoming in chat with all the follows. So shout out to your community. They've been great so far. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have you found it difficult to get the right sort of moderation team? Because I know there have been multiple instances personally where you think you have somebody that would be a good fit for a mod, and then they turn out to be not so great.
Oh, yeah, no, my mods are good. If they're there, like I have quite a few, and it's just because timing, like, being an adult, not everyone can just be online 24/7.
Right.
We all have jobs, we all have lives. So the trickiest part was just finding people that were available and wanted to help out, and I just forced my friends to be my mods. So I just said, "Hey, you're a mod now, and make me happy." And for the most part, they do. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. No, they're great. They're great. They do what they can. If they see something, they'll take care of it. It's pretty much it, right? Like they just do what they can to help out and keep everyone happy and safe and stuff like that.
Oh, that's funny.
Iliastar, yeah.
Iliastar. Okay, it's hard to tell like what's an I and what's an L. Anyway, holding him at gunpoint while he answers the question. I love that.
Say we're good.
Love it. Oh, okay, there's been too many follows. I would feel bad if I didn't actually acknowledge them real quick.
Get to it.
So, real quick, while the app actually opens up. All right. Kennedy, welcome back. Glad to have you back. Rawl Reedsberry, thank you for the YouTube sub. Barry Bubs, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I'm assuming those are the same person. Could be.
Yep.
Elias Star, thank you for the follow. Ian Shalosky, thank you for the YouTube sub. And Myro, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Means a lot. All right. We're the same person? Oh! Fear.
You just don't know which personality it is with her. It could be, you never know. We'll just leave it at that.
Be afraid, chat. Keep your eyes open.
Oh, you're
Dolphin with sunglasses? Fear. Melanie, thank you for the follow. That wasn't a call out, y'all.
So
you don't have to follow if you don't want to follow.
When.
Okay. Myro tipped $5. I think that means marbles when.
There it is.
Yeah.
Marbles.
Myro
marbles is a lot of fun.
Wants to know when you're doing marbles again.
Oh, me personally?
Yeah. They asked in chat earlier, and I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't do marbles, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. So,
yeah, you never know, right? They could
exactly.
just be coming in and be like, "Hey,
I haven't done marbles yet. What do you mean?"
You should. That is a great community game. If you haven't done it, it's a lot of fun.
I've definitely participated.
We have a lot of fun doing it.
I've participated in marbles, and I must say, my ball has a pretty good record. That's all I'm saying.
It's always good to brag about. It's always good.
Yosa, thank you for the YouTube sub. Okay, so we're gonna acknowledge everybody else at the end of stream. We're caught up. So
there you go.
Again, real quick, if you do have any questions that you want asked, you can donate like Myro did just then, and we'll get to the question right then and there. But if you don't really care when it gets acknowledged, but we will get to it, you can come over to Twitch and do a single point channel point redemption. You get 300 automatically just for following. So, yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of questions.
So, let's do a little bit of flip reverse. And let's see. I like to give the guests some time if they have any questions for me, if they want to flip the script on me a little bit. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I am an open book.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Let me hit you with it. When did you start streaming or creating content, and what got you into it? Why did you start?
I started streaming in 2015. I've been at it for quite a while. I initially started streaming with my first name, last name, and the year I was born as my username. Probably not the safest thing to do on the internet. So eventually I was like, wait a minute, that's a little identity thefty. So I ended up switching over to ManBearZac. That username, believe it or not, didn't come from South Park. I like South Park, don't get me wrong, but ManBearZac actually came from when I was on the radio for a little bit. I was part of my college radio station group. We were the Furry Creatures Show, so we ended up all coming up with some furry woodland animal to represent us during the show. And obviously, being the biggest and the hairiest, I ended up getting a bear, which was great because we were the Lenore Rhine Bears. So that ended up working out pretty cool. So ended up evolving into ManBear, and then I was like half man, half bear, all Zac. So ended up just turning into ManBearZac over the years. Everybody always associates it with South Park, and I just roll with it. Hey, whatever. But what got me into content creation was my senior year at college. I actually started college at Lenore Rhine, took some time off for injuries and personal reasons, and restarted and finished basically 4 years after I would have initially. So my senior year, officially in college, I had 2 classes. I had 2 3-credit-hour classes, or 2 6-credit-hour classes, sorry, because I needed 12 to actually stay in college, to stay on campus. So I had plenty of time to just not do anything. And I was really heavy on watching Curvy Llama and Admiral Baru. And I was like, wait, I can do this. I have free time. So I had a little desktop, like itty bitty mini desktop computer. And I was like, okay, let's look into this. This was back before Streamlabs existed, so it was still called Twitch Alerts at the time. So basically, I ended up having a buttload of free time. I had the equipment to do it, and I just started doing it. And it was a great way to pass time. Pissed off my neighbors a lot. Because especially during quiet hours, because I was trying to be quiet, but college dorm room walls are that thin. So sorry. They got over it. But yeah, so basically it was just a bunch of free time, and it's just stuck with me through basically the whole time. So yeah.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. What about favorite top 3 games right now? What are you playing?
That's
what are you enjoying the most?
I was going to get into that with your indie games.
Oh.
Top 3 games I've been enjoying the most. I get burnout on games so quick because I binge games so much.
Yeah.
But I've recently started getting back into No Man's Sky. Because I got really, really disillusioned with it because I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered No Man's Sky because I was so excited because of all the promises that they were making with the game. And for all of you, for all of you that aren't aware of the controversy with the initial No Man's Sky launch, is a lot of broken promises. That's really about it. But now they've implemented everything that they said they were going to be implementing, and it has been such a good experience getting back into it. So No Man's Sky, New World, Amazon's
Really?
release.
Yeah, we
really,
played it for a bit.
Yeah, it's their new open beta, New World Eternum, which is just going to be their update to the game, basically. Really clean, map looks great, class system works really well, so I'm looking forward to that getting fully released. And as cheesy as it is, Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
with
like what kind of Minecraft?
I
like
have
creative or survival?
Survival. I have recently started a Skyblock challenge, and for those of you that don't know what Skyblock is, you start on a plot of dirt in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the void. There's no blocks anywhere else, just your plot of dirt, a starter chest with a few items, no water, 2 ice blocks, a lava bucket, like 1 or 2 pieces of food, and a tree. That's all you get. So
oh man,
it's been something, I'll tell you that. But it's definitely a long-term sort of challenge, so I'm looking forward to seeing how far it goes. We'll see.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's I started, I blame Small Ant. I had no idea what Skyblock was, and then I saw Small Ant play it, and I was like, oh god, I'm not going to be able to sleep until I actually try it. Fine.
And here you are.
Yep.
Sucked in now.
Yep.
Can't get out.
But hey, now I can sleep, so that's something. All right, so my turn again. Indie games. You mentioned when we were talking beforehand that you're really heavy into playing indie games.
Yeah.
What are, in your experience, maybe not necessarily the best rated outside of your, maybe not the best rated community wise, but what are the top three that you've enjoyed the most?
Ooh. It doesn't really count as an indie title though, but yeah, so we'll leave that one out.
We can come back to it.
Trying to think. There's so many. Like, I have so many games in my library. And like when I say I'm a variety streamer, I am a variety streamer. I have everything, horror to shooters to survival games to city builders. Like, I am all over the map. But one that I'm enjoying right now, we'll start here. One that I'm enjoying right now is Abiotic Factor. It's a survival game where you are trapped in a facility where experimentation, where they were opening up like portals to other dimensions, it went completely wrong, and now everything's coming down. But it has Half-Life 2 like vibes with the graphics, the dialogue, the kind of the way it feels, the way it plays, like the movement, like it's very Half-Life-y, but it's not at all. Like, it's not Half-Life at all, right? So that's a very cool game. I've been playing that with my one buddy. Another one that's on my list that I always like jumping into when we get time is Humanizy, which is it's a zombie survival game. One of those like top down.
Oh yeah,
kind of like Project Zomboid, if you've heard of that one.
Yeah.
So that one, it's a relatively new game. We got a bunch of hours in that, and the devs are really, really cool. If you're into zombie survival games, it's definitely worth a look. They're on it, like constantly updating. They find a bug, or sometimes they'll pop into a stream and be like, oh, we saw that, we're gonna fix that one right away. Like, like, because we just find a way to break things. And it's funny because usually they're in kind of like lurking in the chat and they're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
How did you do that? And we're like, I don't know. So
Okay, I'm gonna need you to talk about every step you took to get to the point to where you're at right now, because I have no idea what happened right there.
oh no.
That's
Yeah.
I can't imagine the stress of being an indie dev and then having somebody stream my game and like
And then
seeing something break. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah, and we break things a lot, and it's pretty funny because now they know the individual people that we play with, and they know them. They're like, "Oh, yeah, of course it was her. Of course it was her." Like, it's good. Oh, another one, Raft.
Oh, love
It
Raft.
was one of my favorite games that we played. We got so many hours into it, and we built this ridiculous raft, just gorgeous. We had a bar and a bedroom and like all this stuff all set up, nice kitchen. And a lot of it is not so much the game itself, but it's how we can interact with each other. Because
Yeah.
again, multiplayer, all these games are multiplayer. I play multiplayer with my friends, and it's our banter back and forth. Like, what's a game that's not going to tick people off to the point of frustration, but give us some challenge, but also make it that we can have some funny moments.
Yeah.
I may like to troll my friends a little bit when we game and have a good time. So they love it. They secretly, they won't admit it, but they love it. They're actually big fans of being trolled constantly.
If you like games like that, like where you're actually on the ocean, like Stranded Deep actually recently introduced multiplayer. So like it's only two people. It's only two people.
Oh, two.
But
okay.
Stranded Deep multiplayer seems like it could be a lot of fun. So
Something. All right, I'm gonna write that one down.
I may have to look into that.
I think I even own it. I think I got it like years ago or whenever it came out, and I just never got around to playing it.
It's probably one of my favorite survival games.
Yeah.
It's one I got into when I was binging Ark heavily. Like I've got way too many hours in Ark. But yeah, Stranded Deep is one I kind of went into when I was still looking for some kind of survival game, but not dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
So it was a nice little transition. But yeah, big recommendation on my part for Stranded Deep.
I got it. It's on the list on my piece of scrap paper that has just a lot going on. Too much. But it's on there now. I see it.
Love it. Okay.
Thanks for that.
So something that's kind of been like in my periphery for a little bit over on YouTube chat. Yosa, what's with the baseball bat? What's with the baseball bat, Nate?
Baseball bat?
Yeah, baseball bat, right, Nate?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yosa being cryptic. I was hoping there'd be like a fun little story. But
oh.
Darn.
I don't know. Yosa is a character.
Love it.
Usually we say hi to Yosa.
Okay. So, there is one other thing that I had in my head, and this is my biggest issue. I never write things down because every time I write something down, I lose it. Because I always put it down in a place like, I know I'll remember where I put this. No.
You don't.
I never remember where I put this. I do. Yeah. So, have you found the how do you find the difference between Twitch and YouTube when it comes to streaming? Like, which do you prefer?
So that's tricky. So Twitch has a better I think layout, like they've have a better UX, like a UI and UX experience, right? Like
Yeah.
it's more user friendly. They have a way more as far as just functionality
Hmm.
and making it look good and all that stuff. Whereas YouTube, uh, you have one, you get a better rev sharing for your
True.
memberships and your donations and all that stuff, right? So that's a better deal. Like Twitch just absolutely destroys creators with that 50-50 split or whatever it is over on Twitch. Now
Yeah,
I don't even know anymore.
after a certain subscriber count, it goes up to like 70-30. But even still,
Oh yeah,
like that's just
unobtainable for a lot of people though, I
yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is too bad. Whereas YouTube is like, hey, as soon as you can monetize, which is there's a few different things you have to hit to get there. As soon as you monetize, like it's 70-30. It will be 70-30. Plus I can make as far as membership tiers, I can basically type in a number and be like, this
Yeah.
is my membership tier.
Yeah.
Right.
And you
So
can
if I
have
want to give
multiple.
people
It's kind of like
yeah,
Patreon in that regard. You can just have multiple tiers. If people want to support
yep.
more, they can. As opposed to
Yeah, I
Twitch, where
think
it's
we're
like,
up
hey,
to
everybody's going up an extra $1 right now, especially mobile.
mm-hmm. Here it's just you pay, you make it what you want, and then you get that percentage back. Like they're gonna run ads on you no matter what.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. You can still have some control over it, so you can pick when they roll if you want to do it manually, if you're live streaming or whatever the case is. You can do all that, but being able to not exclude people from a membership tier, like what's the base on Twitch now? Is it like
$5.99
US dollars? Was it
US. Yeah.
$6.99 or something like that for a sub now? Something like that?
$5.99 for a sub. But if you're on
Okay.
mobile, it's $6.99.
Yeah, right.
Which
Mobile
is
fees. So
don't subscribe
dumb.
on the mobile app. You're wasting money. Don't do it.
Where YouTube, I can be like, hey, it's $1. It's $1 and you'll get emotes. It's $1 and you'll get access to this.
Yeah.
So it's more obtainable for a lot of people, right? And I like that a lot because it's not excluding people that maybe they don't have that extra money. Not everyone has money to subscribe, right? And I get that. And I wanted to set up something where it's like, okay, here's my dollar amount. Here you go. You want some emotes that you can play with, or just some better access, in Discord, have a membership channel or whatever. You could do that. And then outside of that kind of stuff, like analytics, being able to really do deep dives. Like
Yeah.
Twitch has analytics, yes, of course. They're not YouTube analytics.
Kinda.
You're not going to get.
Yeah. They've got very rudimentary analytics. If you want your good Twitch analytics, go to twitchtracker.com. Twitch Tracker does so much better. But I think the main issue with Twitch is you can only add so many tags. Like I think
there's like 4 or 5 something like
their
that, right?
SEO is just not very good. Their recommendations, I looked at my recommended page. It's not what I would watch at all. They only recommend the same stuff to everybody. If you're a guy, you're going to see female streamers. It's just that's all they do. It's if you're a child, well, you shouldn't be on Twitch anyway, but yeah. But yeah. So YouTube, great for discoverability, fantastic for discoverability. Twitch, such a better user experience. I completely agree with that. If one of them could make the shift to take the other one's idea or take the other one's better part, then I think that one would overtake the other more so. Because Twitch still leads when it comes to live content. And I think it's by like 60%, I think. Twitch leading by live content or concurrent viewers or something like that. If you don't include the news networks, news networks bought their views anyway. But discoverability, content viewing, YouTube still wins.
Yep.
So one or the other. If one of them could just rip off the tab of the other one and just like add it to their repertoire, I think it would be the best of the give me the best. Give me the best of both worlds. That's all I want. I don't know why it took me so long to actually think of the best of both worlds, but now Miley Cyrus is stuck in my head.
Oh no.
The curse of a millennial. So we do have another question with channel point content or channel point redemption from, is it Rawl or Ral?
Rallister.
Rallister. Okay, so like Alistair from Dragon Age, but Ral. Okay. Mnemonics. Anyway, Zach, what's your end goal with your streaming content? I don't really have an end goal. Basically, all I want is for my content to continue to improve. That's really it. If I can continually make my content better as time goes on, then I'm happy. What I would like to do, something I would like to accomplish with my streaming, is I would like for Pixel Profiles to be like a set, concrete, weekly or bi-weekly thing. You know, having a good way to reach out to content creators and not have them think I'm a bot. Which I've gotten a lot. But something that I really hope ends up happening, and this is something I am going to work towards, is I would like to do a live Pixel Profiles with the owner of Twitch, or the CEO of Twitch. I would love to actually have like people that make decisions, people that, you know, I don't do these for like notoriety or wanting to piggyback off of anybody's name or anything like that. I want to talk to everybody. Literally, the last Pixel Profiles was one of my younger viewers. He's been a member of my channel since he was literally in high school, and he started streaming, and I wanted to have him on because I like talking to people regardless of the size of their channel or their reach. So eventually, I'd like to do something at TwitchCon or some kind of any convention. Honestly, I'd like to have like a live Pixel Profiles at a convention. So not really, cool. Like an end goal, but it's definitely a goal of mine. So yeah.
That's a good goal. That's a goal.
Thank you.
It's a good one.
Yosa has been wanting to ask about your cats and cat treats.
My cats?
I don't know. Yosa's just asking about cats, man.
Yeah, no, the cats are good.
Cats
Tommy's
are good?
right here. We got 3 cats. So
Nice.
before my wife came up, so my wife is actually from Florida, and she had 2 cats, and then we imported her up here to Canada, and she brought her 2 cats with her. So now we got 3 in the house. And yeah, before that, I had an older chair that had a back. So Tommy, my cat, he would always be laying across the back of the chair, and he would hang out with me while I was doing like streams and stuff like that. And we ended up putting in channel points to, spend the channel points, give your cat a snack. And then the other 2 are Kashi for Kakashi from Naruto. I butcher it on purpose to bug my wife, and now I don't know how to say it properly.
Well, see, here's the thing. If you
Hinata,
don't do something to annoy your wife, are you even married?
There's a list. I have another list here somewhere of all the things that I do to her. But
I mean, you have to. Like,
she still loves me.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
as long as nothing goes over the line, the trolling will continue. What is your best dad joke?
Oh, I don't have any that are saved. They just come out.
Don't have any loaded up in the chamber, nothing like that.
No. It's just usually I think it's like an innate ability, and it just
I feel that. I feel that.
Happens.
Yeah.
I literally can't tell jokes on the spot. Like I don't have any saved. There's nothing there. It's just empty, and then it just comes in and I got to get it out, so it could be the most inopportune time, but that joke's it's on its way. It's coming. Doesn't matter. Can't control it.
Oh, that's good. It's an innate ability. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
there
good.
it is.
Oh, I love dad jokes. I love them so much. When the pixel profiles aren't happening, I have a channel point redemption for dad jokes. Like,
Oh, nice.
it's there. It's so good.
See, Illy's got them. Illy uses them a lot.
I love it.
He's my dad joke machine.
I love it. Oh my god. So I think Yosa asked earlier if I was a cat person too. For the majority of my life, I have had cats. I currently do not have a cat. She actually, she passed last year, about 14 months ago. So,
Oh, sorry.
unfortunately,
That's
she's
hard.
not around anymore. But I had her for 18 years. So, her brother, and her sister, and we had her mom and her aunt. And her aunt's kittens. So it was bottle fed because her mom passed during childbirth. But it was definitely a rough one when she decided to go across the Rainbow Bridge. But never gonna forget her. I do miss her periodically, every day.
Yeah. I bet.
Periodically every day. But I have a dog now. Her name's Jasmine. The ManBearZac emote is Jasmine. She is a American Staffordshire Terrier. So she is super loving, like an ungodly loving, and literally the smartest animal I have ever had. It's insane how quickly she picks up on different commands. Like, she knows when I'm in pain. For those of you that are new, I'm dealing with a very serious, or I don't know if it's serious, but it's very painful neck injury with like nerve pain, all sorts of stuff. And whenever it gets like really bad, she just like come up to me, and like, she's basically a therapy dog, but she's never had any therapy dog training, like, at all. So she was actually a fight dog, a pit dog that got rescued from there, and she ended up at the local shelter up in North Carolina where I was living at the time. And the shelter was getting shut down because of health code violations. They weren't taking care of the pets properly. They weren't cleaning up properly.
Jeez.
And so they were doing discounted adoptions. And I was on the way home from work that day, and I texted my dad, and I said, I'm making an executive decision. Because my dad's disabled, so he and I live together and split bills and stuff like that. So ended up getting Jasmine the day. Getting ahead of myself. They did discounted adoptions, and every pet that didn't get adopted was going to be put down.
Ah, jeez.
And unfortunately, there were still a lot of cats that ended up getting put down. And it's because all of the no-kill shelters were full. All of them. And they didn't have anywhere else to go. So I ended up getting Jasmine the day before she was going to be put down. So
that's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you got her, but like the whole situation.
All the animals, yeah. It's definitely sucks. But, I did learn that the fight group, the animal fight group in that town, all of them got busted. All of them got All of them are in prison basically for the rest of their lives. So
That's good.
yeah,
Where they belong.
silver linings. Yeah, no more fight pits. No more fight pits. But yeah, she took a long time for her to actually fully open up, but once she did, fantastic. Best dog ever.
Awesome.
Well, that was a little bit of a tangent, wasn't it? I do be tangenting.
Oh,
See,
good.
Melanie, you're smart naming your dog Jasmine. She is a princess and deserves a name fitting of a princess. Definitely not where the name came from. Definitely wasn't thinking of Disney princesses when I named her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, chat, I am going to open it up to you. Any question that I see in chat, we're just going to go ahead and ask. YouTube, I'm going to focus on you because Twitch has had the channel point redemptions basically the entire time. And while you guys are coming up with questions, Nate, do you have any advice for any sort of up and coming content creator, anybody that's thinking about getting started, any sort of pitfalls that you may have experienced starting out that you want to kind of give some hints or tips to anybody wanting to get started?
Yeah. Sure. If you are on a budget, don't worry about a camera right away. Save that. Get a good microphone. Good sounding microphone. You don't have to get the best, like, which is what I've been finding out. The more product reviews I'm doing, you can get really good mics now that will actually grow with you. So if you don't have an XLR setup, they have microphones that do USB and XLR. So you can start with the USB, which just plugs into your computer. A lot of them have their own software that you can manage. Lots of tutorials online on how to adjust your audio and all that stuff. Take the time to work on your voice. And then if you want to get a camera later on, save money and get something that's somewhat decent. Go with an Elgato. They're pretty safe cameras. They're going to do a good job. eMeet is another really good brand. That's what I use. But, save the money for the camera, what you would spend on like a high tier microphone, but work on your voice first, save the camera. Because if you have a beautiful camera and everyone can see it, but you sound like garbage because it's all scratchy or poppy and clicking and cutting out, no one's going to want to deal with it because they can't hear you. Or it's so grating that they're not going to want to deal with it. So they're just like, next. And they'll go watch someone else that they can actually hear, respond to them and talk to them. I think this is pretty common knowledge. Talk to chat. Don't forget that you're streaming for people. Look at your chat. Don't forget that they're there, because they're going to come in. They're going to say hi. They're going to say, oh, what are you playing? Oh, I love this game or this and that. And if you're not looking at chat at all and you're just playing the game, then you're going to have a really hard time growing that community. And the community is what basically continues to push and elevate your channel and keep you together and keep you growing, because they're going to support you, share your clips and shout you out and talk about you to their friends. Oh, go check out, this person, whatever. But outside of that, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started. Don't think that you need a top tier computer or anything like that. You can get capture cards. If you want to play console games, you can just plug it into a computer. You can stream without even having a computer. You can stream right from your Xbox or PlayStation or whatever you might have.
Right.
Lots of options. You just take the time and, do a little bit of research and watch some tutorials on how to get started properly, and you'll be off a little bit faster. If you're looking to get into YouTube, this is one thing I found out like later on, and it was already kind of too late. If you're going to do live streaming content, do live streaming content. If you're going to do recorded content, do recorded content. Try not to blend the two together unless you start and you do a live stream and recorded, and you try to keep it 50-50, because that'll actually mess with your algorithm. Because how YouTube kind of looks at it, say you have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and you only live stream, and then you put out a video and those people don't like watching recorded content and they don't watch it, what YouTube sees is this person has 1,000 subscribers and none of them watched his recorded content. Why am I going to recommend this video to someone new if his own subscribers or their own subscriber don't even watch it?
Right.
So just something to keep in mind. So that's why when I started my review channel separate, is I'm still posting them to my main because that's where these brands are reaching out to me they want my main channel to promote their product, but I'm also posting it to my new review channel, and with the hopes of eventually all of those reviews will just be done on one channel, and I'll take them away from the NateSherriff channel, and they'll just be on the NateSherriff reviews channel or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so control your voice audio, like mic. Get a decent mic. Don't worry about the camera. Like, just leave it out. As far as your first setups, figure out what platform you want to invest in on first. Don't just, if you're not used to multitasking, don't try to multi-stream right out of the gate.
Yeah.
That can be really tough for people trying to manage multiple chats, even though you can get a lot of apps now to kind of combine everything. It can still be tricky when you're trying to, now you got bots, you got spammers, you got a hate rate in Twitch, but you're dealing with YouTube and now you can't deal with it. And now Twitch is coming unhinged and people are getting, whatever. You don't want to protect yourself, right? But
right.
Outside of that, yeah, work on your voice, talk to your community, talk to your chat. Like, that is, if you can only pick two things, those are the biggest two in my opinion. It's a decent mic, decent sounding mic, doesn't have to be expensive, and talk to chat.
And there's one thing I want to add on to that. Your phone. So there is an app called DroidCam. And
oh yeah,
if you don't want to have or if you can't afford a webcam, DroidCam on Android is free. Or at least it was when I got it. On Apple, it's $5 a year. So that's pretty affordable, honestly. If you've, I don't know how it works in Canada, but in the U.S., with Verizon specifically, you can upgrade your phone every 2 years at a discounted rate, as opposed to buying a new one. You can just tack it onto your cell phone bill.
Same, yeah.
If you're keeping your old phone anyway, use that as your webcam. I mean, it still connects to Wi-Fi. It might not have cell signal, but you don't need cell signal if you're streaming from your computer anyway. So you can set up your webcam, use that as your camera. But I could not agree more when it comes to the microphone. When I first started out, I had an Xbox 360 controller, a USB Xbox 360 controller, and I would use my Xbox 360 headset as my microphone for my streams. Sounded awful. And then I switched to my webcam. I can't remember what brand webcam it was. It was the webcam's mic. Because it had stereo microphones on either side of the camera. And as soon as people could actually understand what I was saying, view count and follower count started going up. You don't have to spend money on XLR. XLR does sound better in the long run, especially if you become a snob about it, which I've sort of become a snob about it. But you don't, USB microphones, 9 times out of 10 nowadays, they sound just as good. You do not have to focus on getting a professional sound setup. Technically like the one I have, but mine was a gift, so I'm an outlier. But questions. We have questions. Okay, coffee lion. Everybody loves coffee. All my homies love coffee. Number 1, she has a few questions. What is an upcoming game that you are looking forward to? Looks like our signal's getting a little patchy.
Shoot. There is one. What's it called? Extraction game? Uh-oh. I think I'm losing you on Discord here.
Yep, looks like it.
So there's Zach.
Well.
Oh, no. Oh, he's back. I think I got you.
I'm here. I'm here. I think we're good.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I
There
keep
is a
losing you
delay
there.
in
I
the
don't know if
video.
it's a connection on my issue.
So,
Okay.
chat, are we dropping frames?
You're good now.
I don't think we're dropping frames. I think we're good.
I think it's just Discord. Like I got the streams open and everything's nice and smooth, but Discord, like just you talking to me through Discord was cutting out for me on my side.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
What game am I looking forward to, right?
Yes.
That's what you asked. It is, I can't remember, I think it's called Death Grounds. And it is a survival extraction game with dinosaurs, velociraptors specifically. And you have to go in, you have to get whatever you have to extract, and you have these raptors that are hunting you the entire time, and they are like Jurassic Park style velociraptors. Like they look right out of the Jurassic, like it looks so
That
good.
sounds fun.
And I'm like, it looks so scary. It's dark, it's dingy, and it's like the raptors always freaked me out as a kid. Like, I was, as a child, like watching Jurassic Park, I was terrified of the movie, right? And yeah, this one's coming out. I think it's supposed to come out this year. If not early next year, I'm hoping. But that one, I've been watching that one for a while, and just all the time they put out those videos, I'm like, oh man, I need that game. I need that level of stress in my life.
Speaking of dinosaur games, have you? I follow the game on TikTok, but it's called like Dino Blade or something like that, where it's literally just a bunch of dinosaurs with different unnecessarily large weapons, like fighting each other.
Yeah.
I cannot
I think
wait.
I've seen those videos.
I cannot wait for that game to come out, because it started out as a joke, and he was like, but so he just, people are like, you need to make this an actual game, and he was like, okay. So I cannot wait for Dino Blade to come out. It looks so badass.
Yeah.
But the only problem is probably not gonna be able to have Linkin Park in the game like he has it in the promotional videos on TikTok.
Oh yeah, probably
not.
Yeah,
probably not. Then again, Linkin Park might be looking for some money, because they might be struggling here pretty soon.
A little rough start for them, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit. Do you have a dream sponsorship?
Corsair, Elgato.
Mm-hmm.
I really like them. Logitech is another one too. Obviously, I got a lot of Logitech products, but if I had to pick one, it would be Corsair. And the reason for that is I use their stuff all the time. It's everywhere in my setup. So is Logitech, but out of the two, like Corsair, like my computer, my RAM, my fans, that's all Corsair. My PSU, again, Corsair. I got Stream Decks. I have Elgato products, that I use. It's something that it's a big part of my setup and my stream. So, that would make a lot of sense as far as like, I already use their products and stuff. The same with Logitech, but it would be tough. Because they both have been in my life for a very long time, right? Like Corsair, ever since I've been able to build computers, I think I've been getting Corsair RAM for a majority of that time was Corsair. And then Logitech, I've been using their keyboards and mice since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Been around forever, right? Like they're even like my first webcam was a C922X whatever, right?
The C920 is the webcam I was talking about earlier that I used for the stereo audio.
Nice. Yeah. It was, it was a camera that did the job, right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I went from there and I upgraded, and I ended up getting this guy right here. This is just the original phase cam. It still works, but one of my product reviews was for the eMeet cam, and it's a 4K camera. So it's a little bit crisper, like it pulls in the finer details a little bit better, right? So
yeah, I
one
I
got pushed
won.
aside.
I won my Elgato Facecam Pro that I'm using right now. I won that on Twitter.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. I enter contests all the time, and that's how I won like my keyboard and some other things
Yeah,
here, right?
that's how I got my capture card.
Awesome.
I have the Elgato 60 whatever, not the 4K 60, but the Elgato
60 Pro?
capture card. Yeah, 60 Pro. It's
Yeah.
it's great. Haven't had any issues with it whatsoever.
That's the PCIe one, right? The one that goes in your computer?
Yep.
I think I have this. I had the same one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in there.
Works great.
Yeah. It's just
okay.
plug and play almost.
What is your favorite thing that you've 3D printed so far?
Favorite thing that I've 3D printed? You know what? I have one right here. And it's more of a functional thing, and it's kind of a nerdy thing.
I
But
mean, we're on Twitch and
printed
YouTube.
one.
I think people will understand if it's a nerdy thing.
Yeah, right. Well, this is like a home nerdy thing. It's a little planter.
Oh,
And
nice. So it kind of mimics the
it's like
mimics
a basket
the
kind of style.
That's cool.
Right? And then on the back of it, so this is the mounting bracket. It actually has 2 spots for 3M command strips for the picture ones. So it actually will sit flush on the wall, and you set it on, and then this actually goes right in there.
Nice.
So then you can hang it up, and away you get.
Yeah,
It's very neat little print.
Put some fake ivy in there. You've got little wall hangers. Nice.
Yeah, we got a little money tree in the kitchen that my wife takes care of, and she likes it because she can just take it out and go and put it outside when it needs a little bit of sun or
nice.
whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just handy little functional print. I'm actually one of the things that I'm going to start working on is desk organizers with integrated magnets, so you could have like a post-it note one, and you could just basically rearrange it to however you wanted to set up your desk, and then a lot of them are very straightforward, like, oh, here you put your pens in here or whatever. But I want to take it further and actually make desk organizers built more for streamers in mind, content creators and stuff like that. Like, what are some things that we might use, like a place to put your earbuds or the stream deck. I actually have a little holder for my stream deck. It's up because I have a riser on my desk where my monitor sits, and the stream deck was just kind of, it was too low for me, so I just put it up and made a little thing and plopped it in. Now I slide it onto the riser, so now it's like elevated, like it's just kind of hanging in the air. So it's a handy little thing. It's just comes down to, hey, I would rather have this instead of that, and I just first I look to see if someone else has already did it, because if they did and it's free, I'm gonna just print it.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why
do
not?
you use Thingiverse, or do you use a different platform?
Yeah, I use Thingiverse. There's another one called Thangs, which is pretty good. Maker World is a big one.
Yep. Yeah.
There's so many that are out there now, like Cults 3D and stuff like that. That you could literally, the best way to do it is you just type in Google, planter STL, which is the type of file that you would use for 3D printing. And then it's just like, bam, here you go. And it'll just give you all these things. You're like, oh, I like to look at that one. You can click on it, and sometimes they'll just sell you the file.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, depending on what it is, they're like $2, $3, $5 for the file. And then you print it yourself, and it costs you like $3 to print. Whatever.
I probably wouldn't resist printing out miniatures to paint. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the miniatures with so this is with that style of printer, they don't come out as nice as like a resin printer.
Right.
That would be what you'd want for miniatures. It's just way smoother, and they can get better detail, right?
Yeah.
But it can still do a pretty decent job with different characters and stuff like that, which is pretty neat.
Do you have anything you use daily that you printed?
What's that?
Do you have anything that's like a daily use thing that you printed?
It's actually a work thing. I designed a thing for my locker at work. It has like a place for my pens, my keys, and my change, and it's like just like a vertical thing that has everything all lined up. and I can just, when I come in, I just throw my keys in there so I don't lose them while I'm working, and anything else, it just goes into my locker, and it's just, I just use one of those command strip things, locked it in, and my buddy at work, he's like, well, I want one, so I'm gonna have to make him up
It'll
one
be
too now.
$30.
But yeah, it's neat. Like, you can even do like little guys like this. Like,
Hell
this is
yeah,
a
you
3D
can.
print. I just knocked his little arm off, but
You could have just said that was
there you
intentional,
go.
and I would have believed it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like my son, he's like, oh, he saw that and he wanted it, and I printed it, and he's like, no, I'm good.
I don't want it
Thanks,
anymore.
but yeah.
Okay, we have a few more questions to get to, so we're gonna cut the questions off. Question limit has been reached. From Yosa, is there a content creator that you watch or listen to relax to?
Relax to. I don't know. I don't watch. It's funny. I don't really have a lot of time to watch other creators. Usually, if I have someone up, I'm doing something else
Yeah.
as well. I have to say, Cryptic Fox. That's my my buddy there that got me into streaming. Just because like he plays a lot of similar games, so I'll put it up because he plays a lot more games than I do. He's streaming all the time. I don't know how he does it. So if I wanna watch something or have something on in the background, and usually if he's streaming, I'll put that up. But usually if I'm not streaming, I'm nowadays I'm just 3D modeling, learning how to do that, or hanging out with my wife or the kids. It's I don't get a lot of downtime to just enjoy streamer content as much as I would like to.
Yeah. This is something I asked a previous content creator that has a family. Is there something? Do you find it difficult to strike that that work life stream balance?
Yeah, my kids with my ex, and so now when it's my weekend with them, there's no streaming. I don't. It's like when I have the kids, it's no streaming, nothing. It's let's hang out, let's do family stuff together. Whether it's we're going to the park, we're going for drives, we're doing shopping, or just getting out of the house and doing whatever. Or if it's not so nice, we're playing board games and card games and trying to do stuff together. We'll play games together on the TV and play Xbox. My son's he's getting older. He's 10 now, so he can actually play games on the PC well. So we'll do some PC gaming together if my daughter's with my wife, because they just like you would think that was my daughter's mother, like how close they are. Like they just get along great. They're both into anime. They both are very creative and all that stuff. So it's really cool. They just clicked. But usually
Chat.
they'll kind of go off and they'll go watch shows together. And
You see that? Do you see that smile on that man's face right there? You see that smile? That is genuine joy. That is
yeah,
I love that. I love that. God, that's awesome.
I got a great
love
family.
that.
I'm super super lucky. I really lucked out with that.
Awesome. We got another question from Yosa. Is there a big project you want to do but you can't?
Renovate my house.
For whichever reason.
Trying to renovate my house. I wish I was more handy with that kind of stuff so I could do a lot of that work myself. But
yeah,
time and money, skill, it's just not there. The skill is definitely not there. I can do some things. I can get away with doing like some pretty straightforward maintenance and repairs and stuff. But when it comes to framing and putting up shingles and all that, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I ain't touching that. Nope.
I know the feeling.
Have to pay someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my jam, that's for sure.
For me, the Hurricane Ian, when it came through here, basically demolished. Not demolished. Didn't completely wreck the house, but it basically did. So yeah, we just recently, like within the past couple months, were able to get a charity program in here called an Endeavor Disaster Relief. Shout out to them. They the house is livable and actually doesn't have exposed drywall and exposed electrical anymore. So that
Oh,
was
nice. That's wild.
such a
Yeah.
huge relief. Me and Dad did as much as we could, but the money and physical ability just stopped being there.
Yeah, no, I
So-
hear it. Ian was brutal. We actually moved my my wife from Fort Myers 2 months before it made landfall or something like that. I think it was
Yeah.
about 2 months prior. We got her up here, and then it was 2 weeks after her old landlord sold the condo that she was renting from her. So as soon as she left, he put it up for sale, and then he sold it, completed the deal. 2 weeks later, Ian came in and just completely flooded that condo.
Well, that's just good
Just
timing.
like, oh man.
On their part,
Yeah,
anyway, not the
crazy.
buyer's part, definitely.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully the buyers made out okay with insurance and stuff, but still,
Yeah.
like, what a terrible thing. And then now you guys just got not as bad as, more north, but
Yeah.
the
The
Helene
the
or whatever, right?
just a very strange coincidence is, Ian messed this place up, and Helen messed up my old hometown.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so like my hometown basically almost completely underwater. Like there's it was mostly because it had happened before. That place had flooded before. So fortunately,
Right.
it was a certain centralized area that was around the river that mostly flooded in my hometown. But if you go literally 10 minutes, 20 minutes up the mountain, there's towns that just don't even exist anymore.
I've seen some pictures.
yeah.
Scary stuff.
There's a little place called Chimney Rock that I'd been to a couple times, and it was a really nice little, it's just a nice little touristy hometown at the base of a mountain. Not even a road left. Just
I think I saw
gone.
that picture.
Yeah. So
my wife lived in North Carolina for a bit, so that kind of hit close to home for her too.
It's been heartbreaking to watch. It really has. But I know everybody that I have been able to check up on, fortunately, has been fine.
That's good.
Lost power, everything like that. But, my brother and his family are fine. My grandma's fine. And all of my friends that I've kept up with are all fine. So, yeah.
That's good.
Good there.
Glad to hear that.
Okay, let's get back to the final question, and honestly, quite possibly the most important question that has been asked today. What's your favorite beer?
Creemore Springs.
Creemore Springs.
It's it's kind of it's a craft beer from Ontario, Creemore, and it's good. It's just a nice, smooth, delicious beer. I think it's classified like an amber ale.
Okay. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I'm not a big beer drinker. I'm definitely more of a harder alcohol kind of guy. When I drink, I rarely drink.
I'm the same.
But there is one place in Orlando that when I go there, I actually get the beer. It's called Player One Bar. It's a video game themed bar. On Saturdays, the bartenders there do cosplay. So they have a bunch of different consoles that you can play at the bar. They've got couches. They've got like every console known to man there. It's a great place. And they have this peanut butter and jelly dark ale. And I know that look. I know what you're thinking. But it's weird. So good. It's just like, okay. So
is it like a stout?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
very it's not viscous, but it feels thick when you're drinking it. It feels Yeah, it's I don't know how else to explain it. But it's very full, it's flavorful, and it doesn't taste like beer. And that's what I like about it. It doesn't taste like beer. I can't stand like hops. Like the hoppy flavor is it. That's what messes with my mouth. So yeah.
You ever have a sour beer? You ever try a sour?
I have tried a sour beer, and the last time I had a sour beer was, I think, college, and my stomach did not like it.
It's not for everyone. Yeah.
It wasn't the worst flavor in the world. I'll give it that. Didn't taste the worst, but now I can't drink sour beers because my stomach doesn't like them.
Yeah, it knows what's coming. I had a key lime pie one, and it tasted exactly like key lime pie. It was so good. It was a sour, but it was just like having a slice of pie.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was so good though.
It's amazing what they can do with alcohol.
Oh,
Amazing.
I know. Wow, it's dangerous.
There's a guy on TikTok I watched, like he made freaking Baja Blast mead. He recently made Monster energy drink wine.
Yeah.
So, unlimited budget. I'd probably have like a craft beer setup or craft mead set up at the house here, but unfortunately, budget is limited, so it is what it is.
I feel that, buddy.
Nate, I want to thank you very much for coming on. We went way over time, way over what I thought we were going to be doing. That's my fault. I should have kept track of the time better. I apologize if I kept you longer than you were hoping.
No.
Everybody from Nate's community, I really appreciate you guys coming in and being as kind and as welcoming as you have been. All of my people, if you want to check out Nate, there are his socials, boom, in every chat. Give him a follow everywhere you go.
Thank you.
Keep Nate longer. Well, Yosa says you have to stay.
Yosa, this is my 3D modeling night, dude. I gotta be productive.
Yeah, you gotta put him back to work.
Yeah.
Nate, again, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any last words for chat?
Behave. Just be good, okay?
No promises.
That's all I got. I got nothing out of that. It's just I know a lot of them they just need to behave.
All right. Well, thank you everybody again for being here. I've been Zach. This has been Pixel Profiles. That's been Nate, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace.